this flat road I'm on. I might tell you, we're not in California anymore. We are back in Florida.
So on this ride, there's 2 KOMs that you have to go for.
That bridge, that's your KOM?
That's the one.
I'm Phil Gaimon. I was a pro cyclist for 10 years, racing all over the world. Now I'm retired, but I'm not done suffering on my bike, climbing mountains as fast as I can, and going on crazy adventures. I couldn't be the best at racing, and I'm definitely the worst at retiring. Welcome to Worst Retirement Ever.
This is the second wedding that we've gone to this year already in Miami or thereabouts. We go a little early to film a Worst Retirement Ever episode in Miami. Okay, Emily, where are we now?
Right now we're passing through Virginia Key. First order of business is we're gonna find some cafecito, some Cuban coffee, some croquetas.
So in my Florida experience, it is authentic to sit on a curb for your mid-ride snack. Emily, what do we have here?
Here we have a colada. It is Cuban coffee. It's meant to be shared. They give you these little cups, see? Mm-hmm. And it's basically rocket fuel.
So a colada is just a shareable cup of cafecito, correct?
Correct.
What is cafecito for the un-Miami out there?
It's coffee. You whip up some sugar with some of the first few drops of coffee that percolates. Is that the right word? Yeah,
sure.
Percolates. You can cut that out. You whip up those first few drops of coffee that are the strongest.
It's made in a mocha pot.
Made in a mocha pot. Whip it up with the sugar. It creates this thick, gooey, sugary deliciousness, and then you pour the rest of the coffee once it finishes over it, and then that layer of sugar kind of rises to the top, and there's this what we call espumita, and it's delicious.
Cafecito is a thing down here. It's a thing. Everyone you ask, where can I get a good cafecito? They're like, oh, I make the best.
So if you ask for un cafecito, they'll just give you this little single serving, take it. But this is when you want to share with your friends, pal around, you know, which is what we're doing. So here you go. This will get you going for that KOM.
Cheers.
Whoop.
Oh, it's so strong. It's just a tiny shot of sugar and caffeine. Jeez. And what is a croqueta?
Croqueta is like mushy ham bechamel mixture, fried in breadcrumbs. They're like about this big. It's like a ham mozzarella stick kind of in a way.
I've had those in Spain.
But they were out of croquetas, so I ended up getting empanadas. So here we have an empanada de carne, which is just ground beef inside. And then this is gonna be really controversial.
Okay.
But I also got a Colombian empanada, which I prefer.
Oh, well that looks good. I've had those in Colombia.
Yeah. This is just, I mean, it's delicious. This one's cheese.
You're gonna lose your Cuban card.
So yeah,
let's
so
each do half of one of
this is our
those.
snack. Just love cheese.
So Colombian mozzarella stick. So you can zigzag a bit off of Rickenbacker Causeway, it's called. And what are these, some fancy neighborhoods?
Yeah, we're just looking at some fancy homes. Look at this tree house right
That's a
here.
nice, you could Airbnb that for $700 a day. Now I went to college at University of Florida, which is north central Florida. Definitely more country than the South Florida vibe, but the terrain is similar. We would do 100-mile rides with like 6 feet of climbing. Part of why I was excited about this trip is that Emily is the proud owner of a Factor 02 disc in the color of Miami blue. But the brakes needed to be bled, so that's at the bike shop. And of course, for the short Florida KOMs, I brought the new Factor Ostro VAM aero bike, custom paint job protected by Invisiframe.
All right, so we rode by this tennis center here, which is whenever they have the US Open.
What about pickleball?
I imagine that they're gonna start some pickleball tournaments here too. I don't know, is that still a thing? Is that, or did that trend pass?
I'm not taking sides, I don't know.
Yeah. He's gonna run away. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Florida, but flat roads are just boring. Film me real quick, I'm gonna pretend I'm falling asleep.
So on this ride, there's 2 KOMs that you have to go for.
Okay, what's the first one?
The Biscayne Bridge.
That bridge, that's your KOM?
Yep, that's the one.
You know KOM stands for King of the Mountain?
That's Florida, South Florida's mountain right there.
Segment loaded. Time to lead myself out. Going to this, you can see that's Brickell straight ahead, downtown Miami. So we're heading back towards the town. You'll see I'm not in the bike lane here. The reason for that is there was a sign that said bike lane closed. I didn't want to hit that whatever closed situation was at full speed. Turns out it was the other side of the bridge. But there's plenty of room to pass here. The key on an effort like this is to not go full-on sprint. You can see I'm doing 700 watts, so I'm not trying to do 1,000 in the first half. You want to save it. Blowing up is always going to hurt you a lot more than a good start, than going fast. So the key is to not ever quite... So I paced it well, but it is what it is. This is a 35-second effort, so I'm never going to be good at it, and it's always going to hurt. This hurts me so much more than a 20-minute climb. There it is. So how did I do on this segment that still claims 0 feet of elevation gain? Well, I did okay. I did 630-something watts for 35 seconds. That's decent for me at this era of my life. I used to be faster at sprint kind of things when I raced. Now, here's why I love this segment and Strava in general. There are people on this segment who went twice my speed. Now, I know I'm not a sprinter, but I've got the aero bike, I've got the speed suit. Obviously, the KOM times here are some version of a car, and then group rides and lead outs. I had a bit of a tailwind, but I'm sure they had better ones. But when you look on the Strava to see like which ones are legit and which ones aren't, there's tens of people, there's pages for every 1 second increment between the KOM and my time. It's impossible to know like where the legit times start and where the glitchy on the back of a car times end.
All right, it's a cool view though. Emily, what are we looking at here?
So we got Brickell over there, downtown area, and then we got South Point Park, South Beach area.
All right, and what's the other KOM you said I have to go for? You said there's 2.
Same bridge, other way.
All right, here's another self lead out. So this is heading away from downtown out towards Key Biscayne on the causeway. I did it this way because there was a slight headwind in this direction. I wanted the best chance on the first climb, so I did that one fresh with a slight tailwind. Here's me just trying to get my speed up. One thing I definitely lost in my retirement, I gave up trying to, I don't train sprints anymore, but repeated efforts, especially short efforts, are just not at all good for me. But I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it a whack. So it was, 2 or 3 minutes between this one and the last one. Lives at the top. This version is, I think, a little bit faster, similar time, similar elevation gain. But this KOM, this segment is a little more legit on Strava. At least the numbers look a little bit more sane. Here's me sprinting. You can tell like cadence is struggling. I'm kind of 50 watts lower than I was before. And then with conditions, this is just not a pretty effort at all. Not that me sprinting is ever pretty, but I guess it could be less ugly. Here's 71 RPMs in an effort. It's just not great. I'm keeping the power up though. Like I'm grinding it. I'm not going under 500 watts yet. That might happen. Then of course the finish is over the top. That's how they made this segment. It's kind of over. There we go. So my time on this one was 1:28. I did it a few years ago with a lead out, better conditions. I did it in 55 seconds. The KOM is still 38.
So that too was stupid. Got my sprints in for the year. So that was like a little over like 11 miles each way. Not the most interesting bike ride, but safe, big bike lane.
Nice
beach, beautiful water.
Yeah, the view's cool. City view could be cool. And then, depending on if you live in a different part of Miami, there's A1A, which is, there's a lot more climbs. No, I'm just kidding. There's no climbs or everything. Nice ride. Thanks for hosting.
You're very welcome. We still have to find croquetas.
We'll find you some good croquetas. All right, let's do it. See ya.